35-27, France get the win over Ireland. But it's a weird feeling. You can't help but feel that both these teams lost. England feel like the true winners in this one. I'll go over this game, some of the key points, stats, my thoughts on the game. You guys, as always, let me know yours in the comments. But essentially, France went into this one needing to beat Ireland by 30-odd points. They did get the 30, but conceding 27 meant they got nowhere near the margin needed. Ireland needed to win with a bonus point or just win by 7, I think it was. But they couldn't get that done. They ended up losing the game. So England, congratulations to them. Six Nations champions following their win over Italy prior to this game. But for this game, Ireland got a scrum penalty early. And you thought, maybe if they can get a dominant scrum, it's a good... I don't know, like you've seen plenty of teams over the years with a dominant scrum kick their 3 points and just grind other teams into the dust. And you thought maybe if they only need to win by 7, maybe that's the way to go. Conor Murray takes a shot from 57 metres at a penalty. He had heaps of distance. He had bags of distance to spare, but it did not quite have the direction. And they paid for that because a few minutes later, Dupont, who is, again, putting his hand up for best number 9 in the world, he gets a try. To be fair, it was Fiku with the big break down the left wing. Kind of ordinary defence from the Irish. I mean, it was Porter on Fiku, so Fiku's going to win that one every day of the week. And, so it's 7 points to 0 early to the French. There was an interesting one on 9 minutes because Sexton puts a kick through for Hugo Keenan and it takes a wicked bounce right as it's entering the French goal area. It bounces above his head to the point where he can't quite take it cleanly. And Bouthier, the French fullback's competing with him for the ball, and he ends up just whacking the damn thing. He whacks it dead, or he whacks it out. And, you can't do that. It's not rugby league. You can't do that. So he ends up getting yellow card of Bouthier for that, deliberate knock-on. And, or deliberate knock. I'm not sure what they call it, because it wasn't a knock-on, but it was a knockout. Anyway, and they have to decide, would Keenan have potentially got a try had that not happened? And it's a tough call. Wayne Barnes and the TMO are on the side of caution and say, no, the yellow card is going to suffice. Given the way the ball was kind of just hanging there, I'm not convinced Keenan wouldn't have got it. But again, you can't maybe say 100% he would have got it, but either way. So no penalty try for Ireland. And it all comes from France after scoring that try and knocking it on from the restart. So they're still not maybe a complete team. But a bit of pressure on. 15 minutes, Ireland managed to maul the ball. Well, actually, they weren't trying to maul it, but the French guys hold them up. But the Irish guys managed to put some bodies into a maul to get it over the goal line. Held up, obviously, over the French line. So they have a 5-metre scrum. And from that 5-metre scrum, Cian Healy, in his 100th performance, is able to get a try because they have to use the ball at the scrum, but they go through a few phases. They're only like a metre out. And Cian Healy gets an ultimate prop try on 18 minutes. And it's 7 points apiece. And they score 7 points during the yellow card. So it's a fair result. You would have liked more, but you'll take at least 7. So everything is evened up. And Ireland actually go in front on 25 minutes when Johnny Sexton kicks a penalty to make it 10-7. Healy goes off for an HIA. He does come on a bit later. Just as it's looking pretty good for Ireland, you're thinking if they can keep knocking over threes, score tries from a metre out or whatever, or maybe get Keenan the ball out on that left wing because he looks phenomenal. Maybe they can do this. But it takes a turn for the worse because if Bouthier made a bad decision in knocking that ball out, Doris makes a bad decision on 29 minutes. There's a bobbling ball from Stockdale, who has trouble with his hands in this game. Yeah, his handling is pretty poor. To be fair, it's around his ankles, but either way, he doesn't pick up a loose ball. And I think it's like he has a couple of knock-ons in pretty quick succession either way. He doesn't have his best game, even if he does get on the board. And the French guys kicked the ball through, and Kuss is going for it. He's the first man. He's winning the race, and Kalen Doris tackles him without the ball. Penalty try and yellow card to Doris. So French get the penalty try. Doris gets the yellow card. And that's about the worst result because it gives them the free conversion. So it makes it 14-10 back in front for the French. Doris has to go off for 10 minutes. And there was a bit of rain, so there's no guarantee Cruz would have got the ball. He was winning the race, so it's in all likelihood, but it's the worst possible result. So yeah, it's a try for France, and they go back in front. I don't think they relinquish the lead at all. Ireland do kick a penalty to make it 14-13, and that's actually during the yellow card, so that's a good result. They eat some time off the clock. They go within a point. They score some points during the yellow card, so they got a man down. Good result. But France answer back about 4 minutes later with their own penalty to make it 17-13. 3 apiece in the yellow card. And interestingly, right before half-time, just as the yellow card has expired, so Doris comes back on, Ireland get a very kickable penalty, and they opt for the corner. They do go, I think they went like 8 phases prior to that, but either way, they don't get any pay from it, and it's one of those ones where you think, just before halftime, just take the points, get back within a point. Maybe they're thinking the bonus point win is the more likely one, rather than the 7-point win. Don't know. I mean, if it comes off, you look like a genius, but if it doesn't, you look silly for not taking the points, and in this case, they didn't take the points. Halftime stats. It's all looking a bit soft for... I don't mean to take away from the French, but the Irish points conceded are a bit soft. You look at the stats. Possession is 65-35 in favour of Ireland. Territory 72-28. French defence is tackling at 93%. So they are keeping the Irish guys pretty quiet. They can't crack down the French easily. But the Irish are only just 81%, which is pretty poor for them. And the French, despite having way less ball, have had way more run meters, 120-81. Dupont's try set up by Fiku you could consider a pretty soft one, or that's a good move from the French. And the penalty try is a soft one. So, yeah, not happy with that first half if you're an Irish supporter for sure. If you're French, you'd be definitely happy your team, despite having less ball, managed to do more with it. Second half, Ntamak gets a try on 43 minutes. Again, it's Fiku on that left wing. When he got into space, man, he was absolutely dangerous. Dupont runs the support line. He gets an over-the-shoulder offload to Ntamak. And it's a pretty sweet try, man. That one is a thing of beauty. Proper class from some very talented players. And France kick a penalty on 47 to make it 23-13. And again, on 52 to make it 28-13. 28-13, the commentary team I'm listening to even start up talking chances for France of getting that points difference they need over Ireland to win the Six Nations. But Henshaw kind of puts that argument to bed quickly with his try. Proper bit of individual brilliance, seemingly from nothing. He just gets the ball left side of the field, runs maybe diagonally towards the touchline, and beats 3 defenders. The fourth one tackles him, but it's too late because he goes over the line. He just seemed a bit angry, to be honest. Maybe he's angry at what was going down. And, yeah, man, great try. Great conversion as well from the sideline. So it's 28 points to 20, back towards kind of game-on territory. Ireland get a chance in France's half. Line out in a really good position, like 5 meters out. They lose the line out. France exit, so they've still got a second chance, Ireland. They're in France's half. They've got a line out. They lose the line out again. Sometimes own worst enemies, but that can happen. And then to make matters a bit worse, and to kind of make sure neither of these sides was going to get a chance to win it, because at 8 points behind, if Ireland score 2 tries, they'll get a bonus point and be in front of France, so potentially getting that Six Nations title. No, because Ntamak gets a chip and regather, and then he passes it to Vakatawa, who gets a try on 71 minutes. That makes it 35 points to 20, and that's pretty much it. France, I don't think in those last 10 minutes are looking like scoring 3 times to go for enough points difference, and Ireland are looking kind of dead and buried. Stockdale does get one at the death. His stats are a bit misleading. He's got a bunch of run meters. He beats like 5 defenders, but defensively he was pretty suspect, it has to be said. But good on him for getting a try at the death. It finishes 35 points to 27. England, the true winners of this game. Run meters finished 309 to 261, with France having the lion's share there, despite having only 40% possession and 37% territory. So they do a lot with what little ball they have. You look at Aldrit, man, he makes 24 out of 24 tackles. So they're able to keep the Irish attack largely contained, even if they did concede the 3 tries. Lineouts, 7 from 8 for France, 14 out of 17 for Ireland, which is like okay, but still some pretty crucial ones missed. Tackling percentages, both 86%. France had to make 148 to Ireland's 92. So it's not like Ireland weren't making them work for it, but France just more cutting when they had that chance. Henshaw had 6 defenders beaten and a clean break. Ireland, I think, overall, only had 2 clean breaks in the whole game. France had 4, 3 of them are Fiku. Fiku was just very dangerous out on that left wing, having moved there from the centres last week. He beat 3 defenders as well, had 51 run meters. James Ryan, I think, had 13 out of 14 tackles, so solid effort from him as well on defence. Turnovers conceded as 14 apiece for both sides, so that's pretty high. And at times the game didn't get that much fluidity, but still, man, you got 50 points, 60 points on the board. So when they did look fluid, it did look good. There were some magic tries, even if there were periods where it was dragging. Penalties conceded 14 by France, 7 by Ireland. So given those numbers, if Ireland's attack is able to do a bit of a better job, if France's defence is not as good as it was, if Ireland take a few more of their points, you never know. But ultimately, it's a good win for France. Even if it doesn't win the tournament, it was a pretty successful campaign for them. Ireland, I'm not sure how fans will feel about this. Like, you go into your last weekend and you're still in a position to win the competition. It's good, especially when you've had a change in coaching staff. You know, Joe Schmidt's left, Andy Farrell's taken over. You look at Wales and think, man, we've done all right. But they'll look at that game and think it was a bit of a lost opportunity, given there were still points in the game where they looked like they could have gone on to win it, but couldn't get that done. But yeah, overall, congratulations to England, because they won the Six Nations. Autumn Nations Cup is not too far away, so we will see more of these teams. More chances to get things right as well. What did you guys reckon about this game? Lost opportunity for Ireland. Very exciting potential for France. Maybe a bit of both. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. I've got to go finish watching Wales and Scotland, which by all accounts is not going to be a fun watch. I've already seen 40 minutes, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, you guys take care. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.